Greetings. I humbly come to you from my bed today. Forgive the lack of formality. But I have honestly been putting this off for weeks at this point. So I figured, let me just get up, let me just brush my hair, and just make an intro to this dang video. So I've been looking at some of my old footage, and I decided that it's finally time to edit it so I can put it out into the world. This is, of course, from when I lived in Texas. Is my mouth dry? Hydration break, everyone. Do I really talk with my bottom teeth? A girl said that I look bitchy when I do that. At some point last year or so, I got these really popular paint pens because I saw all these artists using them on YouTube, and they looked super juicy, super pigmented, and super delicious. Hiding it until they sponsor me. That and a lot of my Poscas have been drying up due to me using them nonstop for multiple years on end. So, unfortunately, it is that disgusting time of my life where I have to start replacing my art supplies. But it turns out I do a lot of art. On one hand, I like using up my stuff, don't get me wrong. But then on the other hand, it makes me feel sad, hopeless, empty. Okay, enough about this. On to the art. Sometimes I crave drawing things, and this time it was giraffes. Don't mind the terrifying creature on the left. If I remember correctly, this is actually the very first thing I drew with these specific markers, and I wish I could tell you guys the brand name, but I'm not sponsored. A problem I had with these specifically was that I didn't have any super dark colors that had high saturation. But, I mean, this isn't the only brand of paint markers that I own, and when push comes to shove, I do just mix my own paint. However, that does kind of mess with your flow a little bit because then you have to take out a brush and then you have to clean it, and I'm not about that life because I do a lot of my art on my bed. I remember wanting to draw the randomest animals I could think of, and if I ever do a sketchbook flip through, you'll see all these cool creatures that I was inspired by throughout the year. Here, I kept the background very simple, colorful but just green foliage on a pink background. You can very clearly see me struggle with the fact that there's not a dark saturated brown in this set, but you can also see how the regular brown worked just fine as an outline. On to the next drawing. With all that being said, there were times where I would also kind of force myself to draw humans as well, but it's just that I've been drawing cute girls for so many years that I'm kind of tired of it at this point. Well, okay, not necessarily. I just have phases where I go through wanting to draw something more than wanting to draw something else. Also, looking at this footage, I feel like maybe I was a little bit rusty that week just because I had been drawing so many other different things and stepping out of my comfort zone. And the irony of stepping out of your comfort zone is that then you forget what it's like to be in your comfort zone, and what's comfortable becomes unfamiliar. I'm not sure what kind of miasma I drew on this poor girl, but in my opinion it looks really good with the background and helps bring out the darker color. It adds color harmony. Previously I was complaining about there not really being a good dark brown, and this is kind of the way to circumvent that. Haha, not gonna lie, this is definitely me when I add spirals to the background to enhance visual interest. Once again, I am using Bristol paper because it's very smooth and untextured, so it helps the markers glide really easily. I wanted to play around with alien skin, so I used some greens and yellows to make it, and I wanted it to have a bit of a blue undertone. I'm also not actually sure if I was trying to draw a mermaid or an alien, but spoiler alert, it turned into an alien, I guess. Again, like I said, I really just wanted to play with color. Looking back at it, I kind of regret giving her this pink because I thought it would look good since it provides good contrast with the green. But I think a blue would have actually been a better way to make the shadows pop. Oh well, doesn't matter. It still looked good. Adding a gem for visual interest, and then trying to make a little rainbow prism under the gem. Then I went back in and drew the necklace and blah blah blah. Finally, it's my favorite part. I wanted to see what was available for me in terms of the rainbow, and instead of being a real person and swatching it, I decided to just make it part of this final art piece. Honestly, if I ended up not liking it, I would have been able to just paint over it. Who cares? That's how you gotta do art. You just gotta say, I'm gonna do this, and if I don't like it, I'm just gonna paint over it. It's been so many years since I've had rainbow hair, and I miss it so, so much. But it takes a lot of upkeep. That is too much, even for a swag lord like me. I'm also giving it a couple more years for my hair to turn a little bit more white. And then I'll start experimenting with it again. Because currently I'm really enjoying my naturally black hair. That only takes a moderate amount of care and styling. But the rainbow is natural for this alien or mermaid, or whatever species she is. You can tell by her eyebrows, which are also rainbow. I wanted to add a cool background, so I kind of just did whatever, and in the end she looked like she was casting a spell. Nice! And with that, I hope you guys enjoyed the first of many videos. That's gonna be like me painting, me being just super chill, because to an extent, I might not want to be a shorts creator anymore. Okay, this video has like 1 minute left on it, so just finish this up on the phone. So, I might not entirely want to be a shorts creator anymore because last week or so, I had a short that went viral. That's never going to give me fulfillment. What would actually give me fulfillment is having a bunch of subscribers that like my drawings. And, of course, I'm also deciding to start up a new animation channel. I'm reworking one of my old channels that was going to be for, like, my drawing niche, and then this one was supposed to be vlogs, but now this one is vlogs and art, and that one is going to be animation. So I'm going to link that in the bio, and hopefully I'll see you guys there at some point. It's going to be a while until I release some new stuff on that channel, but there's like a couple of speed paints if you want to go watch them for now. But really, it's the animations that I'm looking forward to. And hopefully you as well. And at some point, I'm maybe going to talk about what happened to meme school. See you!